This is the third portion of the video on things that I've learned in the last 5 years. It's a bit shorter, and there'll probably be one to follow as I learn a few more things, but we're going to start with all three components have to be equal. That means drivers, office, and customer. They've all got to be equal. We can't put the customer up here and the driver down there, and we can't put the driver up here and the customer down there. They're all three equal. We show that rather than just talking about it through many things that we do at PTS. One is your home time. It's always amazing that you can get everywhere you belong for a month or 5 weeks. We can dispatch you everywhere that we need you, and then when it comes to your home time, we forget how to get people where they belong. So it's so important that we show it by making sure that you're home within 24 hours of that home time request. We've only failed twice in the last 6 years. We also, things just no different than your orientation. It's important that everybody sits in the same chair. We're not going to have a driver sitting in a steel chair for a week while everybody else is nice and comfortable. The other thing is don't forget that resources in the office. We look at and we look at all the things that we have here, from shops for maintenance that we've used before, all of those sorts of things. We put those things in effect so that we can easily support the drivers. Another thing is to teach and be taught. We're going to teach you through orientation what we need, how you can be successful. Then you have to execute. But we need to be taught what you learn out on the road, because otherwise we're stagnant. We'll never learn anything. It's two different pieces. That's where the 3 S's comes into effect: the safety, security, and service. And it goes both ways. We want to know what you know. If you're coming out of home time, make sure that we're always checking the truck to be sure that it's in good shape, that you're ready to get out of home time so that you can get to your first stop. Don't forget, a GPS, we suggest everybody use them, but you need a written route plan. It has to be anytime you have explosives. And a GPS is just a tool. A lot of inexperienced drivers run into an overpass or end up on a one-way street because they follow a GPS that's incorrect. Realize it's just one of the tools that you're using. The next thing that I do want to cover is, we talked earlier about companies that have said miles, 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 want you to do things that are illegal. You know, just the difference. If you come from a company that was paying you 40 cents a mile, you needed to run 6,000 miles as a team just to get $1,200. Here, as a team, you run 4,000 miles and you get $1,240. So to do 2,000 miles less, because our mileage pay, the 62 cents a mile, is so much higher, you make an extra $40 right off the bat, and that doesn't even take into account that where you came from probably doesn't have a safety bonus of $1,500 a year. Those sorts of things may not have a 401k, those sorts of things. And that's on a bare minimum of just your guarantee of 4,000 miles. If you run 6,000 miles, you multiply times that, you're going to have about $2,500 split 2 ways for you and your co-driver. But anyway, you've got to stop thinking, if I get good miles, I get good money, because unless you get good pay to start with per mile, miles is still not going to give you a decent living. You need the two things together. One other thing on that is, I found over the last 5 years that one truck is always going to run very good miles, one truck's going to run very poor miles. What we've done is kind of said, look, the truck that made good money put money into PTS's pockets, and now we're going to take some of that money out to help the driver who didn't do quite as well for no reason of his own, but just because he happened to be in a bad place and he couldn't get out of there and get the miles. So that is going to conclude this portion. We may have another one in the future as I learn a little bit more, but that is the Rick's Life Lessons, they called it. Thank you.